must here.
Yeah, and again, you get to still weave in your hero power, which is fairly important.
Yeah, bingo. And then the nice trade with Leok as well. Able to keep your 1 health minions alive. Keep
Yeah, there's no fear of having that at 3 health for the most part. Consecration won't kill it. True Silver killed it both ways, so it's really nice.
Yeah, power equality wouldn't have mattered. So yeah, good call there for sure. Now you want a heal bot, but as we stated earlier, there's a lot of damage on board. So I like this play. I like this play a little bit better.
Yeah, it's crazy. He has to stabilize because he has been able to push so much damage so effectively throughout this game. And this is him trying to stabilize. We don't know if it's gonna be enough, honestly. Yeah, that's rough.
Oh, he's 1 off even if he gets Huffer. Which, I mean, if he's Face Hunter, he's gonna get Huffer. So, but that would still be 1 off lethal. So.
Yeah, he's at the point where, I mean,
I think you have to play the animal companion.
Yeah,
I mean, what's the alternative? Not playing it? So.
Not and potentially setting up lethal compared if you think you're going to draw on the damage. Because like if you don't think you're going to get Huffer, are you setting up lethal? Maybe because you think that minion's going to be killed. So maybe this is kind of the idea. Like this sets up lethal off top deck potential compared to a Leok not doing that. So
yeah.
But that's 2 dead draws in a row for Darklaw, and that's really unfortunate. And this is going to be closer than it looks because there is a lot of really good draws in Darklaw's deck to help stabilize some more. But Leroy off the top does change things. Yeah, then there's that Leok that he didn't want last turn.
I think you have to go with the Snake Trap here. I mean, why not? Yeah, he's going to toss it out there.
Yeah, you fill out your mana. You have to because your opponent has to clear that, so you know you're going to get value off of it. And then you have Leroy, and you have hero power, and potentially enough damage with the snake. So you're feeling really good. Can Darklaw live with True Silver down a snake? Will it be 1 off from what we know? 1 or 2 off? So 8, 10, yeah.
Yeah, he'd be...
No?
So he'd heal back up to 11. There would be 10 damage left on board. So he would just be alive.
It's GG, right?
No, if he heals it, he's back up to... Oh yeah, because he's going to take the 1 damage from the 10. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That's GG.
I was just giving the heal and then not the damage from killing the snake, obviously. So yep, that's going to be exact lethal. And the kill command was over the top anyway, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah, it was. So that's crazy. Like, Darklaw really didn't draw into any Thrall potential, and then had those 2 anything's gonna happen right there in his hand at the end of the game. So you kind of saw how that game went. The Bagel had crazy damage output, and he really used his mana efficiently. So it was a really well played game.
Yeah, Darklaw, there was a lot of damage from Mr. Bagel, like you said, but Darklaw had the heal and the taunt, but he never got any draw. And then those anything can happen really clogged up his hand and coming into the late game. He never made that transition from the mid game into the late game, and he didn't have the resources to do so.
Yeah, it was you know, I say it was a really well played game from the Face Hunter, and people don't like when people say, "Oh, Face Hunter played well," but
sure, right,
honestly, honestly, like that was well played considering the position he was in, and it was unfortunate for Darklaw that he did not have the card draw. It didn't really go that well, but.
Yeah, even the trades, the little play for the trades and everything, the Doomsayer and all that, it might have paid off.
I mean, Darklaw, when you run this deck, you're confident in it, and I do believe it has a very, very good shot against Aggro Shaman, which it looks like we're seeing. There's a potential this is mid-range, but because Flame Tongue is in both, but we don't know for sure.
Yeah,
quite yet.
Obviously the safe money's on the aggro. It's much more consistent, especially this late in the tournament. But mid-range should not be underestimated rather.
Yeah, looking at these cards, I'd say it's 90% aggro. But you know,
right, yeah.
And also looking at Bagel's lineup of what we know is Face Hunter, Warlock, and Shaman. I'm just gonna guess that he has one general idea when it comes to his lineup, and that's hitting you in the face very fast.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
He misses 1 drop though. He didn't have the coin, so he's gonna have to start the assault here on turn 2. Going with the Totem Golem first.
Yeah, he's got that Dream too though, and he's got a pretty good 3, and he's got a pretty good 4. So he's looking good. But the Doomsayer will deal with it. There is no answer in Bagel's hand. So
Yeah.
odds are we're seeing a hero pair pass into Bagel. We'll see what Bagel draws. We don't really actually, or Dark Claw draws.
Right. Yeah, Mr. Bagel had no way out of that. He wasn't able to do with it like he was last turn. So Dark Claw getting the Doomsayer again though on turn 2. So that's really nice to stave off the early game pressure from both types of decks. It just didn't work out as well last time.
That's really nice, and I like the tempo Outdoor Peacekeeper. You need to put something on board to deal with Feral Spirits, which is what you're guessing is most likely to come out here.
Sure. And Aggro Shaman doesn't run a whole lot of high attack minions. I mean, we do see the Dr. Boom in hand, but that's not always ran in Aggro Shaman, so probably not going to get a whole lot of value you wouldn't expect out of an Aldor, so tempo seems pretty good there.
One of the best targets for it is actually the Totem Golem, so since he did run through that already, it's pretty nice just to go and drop it, and he has Humility in hand already anyways. But this was... He was really sad to see that Rock Biter, because he did have a clean clear if it was just Feral Spirits, but now we're going right back into more Feral Spirits most likely, unless Bagel wants to go into a Juggler Abusive to try and push more damage right now, because he really hasn't pushed much at all yet.
Sure. The Feral Spirit seems like the obvious choice off the top here, but he may be afraid of some sort of board clear, and he wants to have those taunts later on with a little bit more health than the other two minions.
So there's a couple different arguments here. The one argument for getting a Feral Spirit out now instead of next turn is so that you can play Boom on 7, which is really important. But if you play Juggler Abusive now, you have a chance of being Doomhammer out if you top deck it. So it's kind of, he's had to think about his overload and how exactly to allocate it all.
Yeah, excellent points. I can tell you have a Golden Shaman for sure.
I've played with this deck a few times.
Yeah, that was excellently spotted with the overload that a lot of players forget about, myself included, and playing around like if you want to get that Doomhammer out there for sure, and Dr. Boom.
And there was a Doomhammer off the top, and that was the argument for the Juggler Abusive. But he went for the line with, I have Boom in hand, I want to play it on 7, so I should play Feral Spirits now and use the non-overload cards.
Yeah, it was the safer play.
Yeah, it's way safer. You don't know you're going to get that Doomhammer. That being said, the Doomhammer would have been sick.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, right now you clear off the board, you keep your guy alive. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Now you're hesitant to drop that Knife Juggler hero power. Obviously you're hoping it kills the Wild Pyromancer, but there's no guarantee of that. It's only a 33% shot, so.
Yeah, I think you definitely go with the mana efficiency. Okay, he wants to just go for the damage. That makes sense. It's fine. You're fine either way at this stage of the game, I think. But yeah, he definitely did not want to hit face with that knife.
Well, I guess it's better than hitting Merc Eye, I suppose. So small consolation there.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's the second best option in a very...
Yeah, not hitting the Pyromancer, that's quite unfortunate for him. And now all the... back to Dark Claw. He finally gets some draw with this Acolyte of Pain.
Yeah, he looks like he wants to... I thought a Humility might be coming. It still might be coming after... Nope. He's just going to go with this clear and just have the 1-3 out. That's fine. I was thinking maybe you Humility and get that draw off with a Pyro burn, but...
Okay, yeah, that would have...
Maybe that's just a little too creative.
Yeah, he wanted the trade instead. It still looks pretty good that you're going to get at least 2 draws off of that, looking at the board state.
Yeah, either way's fine. But here's that turn 7 boom that Bagel planned for, you would think, and I think you have to do it.
Yeah, I mean, if not now, when, right? I mean, maybe you're a little afraid of a board clear, but I mean, you've got it in there for a reason to play it on turn 7.
Yeah, that or I mean, the Doomhammer is still very, very tempting because you just want to play it as soon as possible.
Right.
But you also know you've given the Paladin a lot of time, and you kind of don't want an empty board at this moment. You've seen a Pyro, you don't expect the second one, so you aren't scared of Pyro quality too much. But, here this comes.
Yeah, Pyro off the top. Pretty almost the equivalent this time. 1/6 isn't a huge threat.
Yeah, and you got the Pyro off the top, into the Pyro charge on the Acolyte, into the perfect draw off the top, the Solemn Vigil. So, really sweet top decking from Dark Claw right here.
Yeah, he has a little bit more heal if he needs it. Oh, that's a lot of damage.
That's a ton of damage. And this is one of the arguments for getting Doomhammer out last turn, is to start pushing because your opponent was low. So at this rate, I think Mr. Big Old's game plan has to be Smork. There's no other option. You have to go in.
Sure, with all the spell damage in hand, you're just gonna have to try to kill him over the top.
Yep. And I don't even disagree with the 1/6 going face. It's maybe not clean, but you're getting really desperate because you know your opponent can stabilize really easily, especially coming up on the turn 8 play. You think with cards being in Darklaw's hand for a while, there's a good chance there's lay on hands there. So you know heal's very likely coming, and you just have to kind of just go in and try to get as much damage as possible before you just lose.
He does opt to trade with the Acolyte of Pain, keeping that only to one more card draw.
Yeah, I like that. That's a nice use of resources.
And now this Sludge Belcher going to slow down that Doomhammer. Lava Burst might have something to say about that, though. Depending on how he wants to use these resources here.
Yeah, I think Darklaw, considering... Let's see the damage. So he Lava Burst, and I think you kind of have to. Then you bash your face into the slime. You put him down to 11, 13. If you want to just go in on the rest of the cards, you're down to 5.
Ooh, if you roll Spell Power here, that's lethal.
With all those, so it's 4/4. Yeah, you can definitely just take that route.
Yeah, I mean, and why wouldn't you anyway? I mean,
I think honestly you have to.
Yeah.
You take the 25% chance because I think you know your opponent's about to stabilize beyond you being capable of winning this game. So you take the 25.
Here we go. Gets it. Ooh, doesn't get the spell power.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That would have been pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that would have been
pretty crazy.
Almost the RDU status with the fireballs for sure.
Yeah, but now you're back to this. Now you're back to how you deal with this board, and you also want to be wary of your health because there's 7 damage you might be ignoring, and you're at 18.
Yeah, of course. And you're using all that burst. I mean, that's 5 damage that you had to sink into that. That was a lot of your burst damage over the top, and you haven't seen a heal bot yet.
And he roped.
Oh, he didn't get the second attack off.
No, he didn't even get the boom attack or the possibility of playing Tunnel Trog, Lightning Bolt on the 3/3, or anywhere on his Lightning Bolt. That was really unfortunate for Bagel.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna affect the game. I think it was quite an uphill battle from here, even if he gets those off. But it's just unfortunate to see.
Yeah, it very much is, and it appears that Darklaw has most likely taken this game.
Yeah.
So that's 7-10. Well, all those things die, but then he gets to anything. I haven't kept great count of what Murlocs have died this game, but I know the 2/4 Murkeyes died, now a 2/1 charge, and I think both war leaders. So that will be enough for lethal.
He gets the spell power this turn, but it's 1 turn too late for the lethal. The 3 extra damage still would have put Darklaw only to 4, so missing those attacks didn't cost Mr. Bagel the game at this point.
And this is just enough.
Right. Yep, you stated earlier what Murlocs died, so Darklaw obviously on top of it. He's going to take game 2 with the Paladin.
Yeah, it's nice to see a 1/1 in the series. I'm excited to see the rest of these decks.
Yeah, you get to see the nice diversity. I mean, 3-0s can be cool. I mean, if you're playing and obviously you want to 3-0 your opponent, you don't want the stress of going to 5 games. But if you're casting it, sometimes you get the back and forth, the inner struggle of dueling the decks out back and forth, the full game 5, the whole series. That's a lot of fun to cast too. It makes it more intense for sure.
We're definitely super lucky to see the Druid, Shaman, Warlock. I can't stress enough, guys. Hey, but Darklaw looks to be running Reno, so there's something to that, or possibly even Handlock. We don't even know.
Oh yeah, definitely. With the Molten, it looks more like a traditional Handlock as opposed to like the aggressive or the combo Warlock. With the Arcane Golems or Leroy Jenkins shenanigans.
Yeah, I'm curious. It looks a little bit more like Reno now with just a Molten tech, but yeah, that appears to be what it is. But we got a pretty good hand over on Mr. Bagel's end that we haven't really acknowledged quite yet.
Yeah, we didn't give him the props yet. Yeah, it looks pretty good.
It's pretty good over there. But the Dark Bomb does really nicely here. So Dark Claw's not too worried yet. He knows what he's playing against, so he can make a proper game plan.
Yeah, so a little bit of the greedier play from Mr. Bagel. If he had coined out the Totem Golem this turn, obviously he wanted to be able to have a play on turn 2. My only point is that it would have negated the Dark Bomb, but
yeah,
it was the right play. You had to do it.
Yeah, because Mr. Bagel probably thinks he's playing against Zoo.
Sure.
So, he didn't know what Dark Claw was running quite yet. So I like the Juggler, so you can actually play something else on 2, especially if you think it's Zoo. It's the right way to go.
You still might think it's Zoo. I mean, Dark Bomb.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have any tells yet from Dark Claw.
No, he completely is unsure yet, but he's probably thinking Reno at this point. I mean, Dark Claw had a pretty good answer of the Imp Gang.
What do you think about this Flame Tongue Totem here? It allows you to trade off nicely with the Imp Gang.
Yeah, because you don't exactly want to just feed that that Knife Juggler to the Imp Gang. So it's either Flame Tongue or Crackle. That seems very poor. So it's definitely Flame Tongue. And
yeah, you've seen the Dark Bomb already.
yeah.
If you're expecting Reno especially, then you know there's only one. Well,
Yeah,
probably
for
only
sure.
one. But a lot of thoughts has got to go in. This is not a straightforward play by any means.
No, not at all. He still doesn't have a great idea of what's coming, but we'll see here. Let's see. He's having a hard time deciding if he wants to run that into the 2-4. Which
Yeah. Nope.
I don't hate the faceplay here, because you did see the Dark Bomb, so you're kind of like telling him, you deal with it. You deal with this. This is your problem.
Right, I mean, you're the aggressor, in this matchup.
Yeah.
So I'm missing 5 face damage there. If you trade off for a long time, eventually Dark Claw's going to draw the Reno, and then what do you do?
And I like Dark Claw running the 2 in, so you can get that trade off next turn and just keep bashing. I like this foreseeing of plays, but the Juggler could punish it a little bit.
Yeah, high level plays from both sides. I don't have any disagreements with what they've done so far, really at all. So very impressive, as to be expected this late in the tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. That being said, that's a great draw right there. Dark Claw has both of his heals that aren't Reno in his hand, which is perfect, honestly, for this matchup. I've played this matchup a lot, and this is usually how you win. Is just either you have Reno or you have both those cards, and your opponent will run out of steam.
Yeah, he has the heals. He has the board presence right now at this point of the game. He's been able to stave off most early game pressure. He's at full health still. Here on turn 5 against Aggro Shaman, that's quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, and from what we've seen with Creepers and Boom, this looks like the list that might outrun Ancestral Knowledge. And we haven't seen Sir Finley, so we don't know how much draw Bagel will have going forward. So he literally might just run out of all steam, and Dark Claw's still at 30 health. It just kind of looks ugly from this point.
Yeah, that's a real concern. Now what do you do here? The trades are I think I like trading in the Creeper into one of the Imp Gangs, or the Imps, to prevent it from trading off cleanly into your taunt.
Absolutely, that has to be done. But for some, I guess his consideration right now is to clear the heal bot, which I don't think would be the right play. This is the correct way to probably order this. He does it cleanly. Dark Claw continues to get rich with a great play for next turn. He gets to tap and play Pilot Shredder and still be at 26 health, knowing he's going into a Dr. Boom turn. So that's pretty nice.
Yeah, even playing the Piloted Shredder. We'll go over that real quick. In case you're new to tournaments or Hearthstone in general, you always want to play Piloted Shredder in between 2 of your minions, because when it dies, there's the potential that it could come out with a Flame Tongue Totem, which obviously buffs the minions on either side of it, or a Direwolf Alpha, which has the essentially the same effect, not quite as much of a buff. But if you have that minion on the edge when it comes out, it only buffs one of your minions, where if it's in the middle, you get the full benefit of that 2-drop coming out of Piloted Shredder. So it probably sounds like a broken record if you've seen a bunch of tournaments, but some of you guys might be new, and I like to point that out, just in case.
Yeah, it's important. It's
the little things.
It'll happen. Yeah, it'll happen to you, and you'll feel real bad.
Yeah, right.
So you want to make sure and know it exists that way.
Now Mr. Bagel, though, with some curious. I think he's got to keep going face here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's funny. He puts out a lot of pressure on board, but I don't know if it'll be enough since he hasn't drawn his boom. He hasn't drawn Doomhammer, and he's about to be on turn 7. At this stage of the Shaman game, you really want to be trying to figure out how you're going to win. And he's only pushing 4 from his board and a potential 9 from his hand, which isn't lethal.
No.
Obviously, nope. So you really, and your opponent is staring you down with a lot. But he continues to get taunt totems, which is actually super significant. It's kind of crazy. I think that's like 3 of them this game, and they're just stalling him just enough to be able to push like this.
Yeah, I mean, it may seem silly him not taking the trades here, but he's got, as you stated earlier, he's gonna fizzle out. It looks like he's fizzling out already. He just has the damage over the top. We know what Darklaw has in his hand, so we're like, oh no, you should trade, but you can't. I mean, you just can't in this situation as the aggro shaman. You just gotta plow forward and hope it works out.
Yeah, and again, the rich get a little bit richer. That Shadow Flame coming off the top is really just perfect. You clear most of the board. You know your opponent doesn't have Doomhammer. You know it's probably just burn, so you do feel safe enough to not play the Farseer right quite yet. I would definitely trade into the 1/1. Yes, that was
yeah,
correct.
why not? Yeah, the longer this game goes on, the better shape you're in. So.
Yeah, you said it. You still have lethal on board, so that trade is very, very well done. Just in case there's a Flame Tongue that comes out that maybe would have pushed him over the top. So, very well done by Darklaw.
Mr. Bagel could have had lethal again if that was spell power. He would have needed a perfect crackle roll and spell power, but it doesn't get it. So now he's got to decide if he wants to use some of these burns for removal, which I think you do.
Or he's dead.
Well, so. I just meant or concede, I guess was going to be the other option here. But I think you do. I mean, it's a tournament. Anything can happen, so.
Yeah, so he just sets it up so where his opponent only needs 3 damage. He has it actually in the power roll,
sure.
So that would be GG. But that was probably the right way to do that. Go ahead and just push that way. But Darklaw coming back from the 0-1 to a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, he was giving himself a way to win. That was his opportunity to win. It just didn't work out, unfortunately for him this time. He
played to his outs really well.
Yep.
Darklaw just got the draws really nicely that game, right off the top. Just about every time.
Yeah, he did. He had a phenomenal hand like the whole way through. He never really fizzled out either.
That matchup really is entirely based around if you draw the Reno, the Reno Luck wins. Or if you draw both heals, the heal bot and the Farseer, or the heal bot and the Bran, then he wins. And he had those cards, so he won.
Yep.
That's literally the match. I played a lot of those games, and that's usually 100% what it comes down to. So, Mr. Bagel tried his best. He did his very best.
Yeah, he's going to get one more shot at it, at least in Game 4 here. Mr. Bagel going with the Shaman again against Darklaw's last deck in the Druid. So Mr. Bagel trying to stave off elimination. He does have Sir Finley.
He does run that card, so we know that now. I figured it was in there, but it does appear more like he is not running the Ancestral Knowledge version.
Right, I would agree with you there. Or he's just been really unfortunate to not draw it.
Yeah. But it's not even like he's completely run out of steam quite yet most of the time. It's been weird games with Shaman. There's twice in both games where he just rolls Spell Totem and he wins.
Right, yeah, he had the potential to win in both, yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
So it's pretty interesting. That Mulligan went down to 0 on Darklaw's end. Or am I behind?
Oh, I can't see his countdown, so.
Oh, okay. Oh, interesting.
I got Mr. Bagel on the bottom and Darklaw on the top. So, Mr. Bagel with a pretty good hand though. He finally gets Tunnel Trog on turn 1. He's gonna hope to draw something with an Overload maybe next turn to buff that up and trade up. Obviously, Totem Golem being the dream turn 2 play.
Yeah, but Darklaw went ahead and drew his best answer or best start as well.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, he's a good shot. He's a good Druid player. Got the wild.
Yeah, he's highly skilled, and I mean Darklaw really is a highly skilled player. I can stress that enough. He spams opens more than probably anyone out there. So, but he did just draw the best card in his deck, and he decides to go ahead and just play it on 1 with the coin so he could iterate out the Strud or the Claw, which is real nice.
What do you think about charging this out? I think
I like it. I like it a lot. It's really nice. The Lava Burst will deal with it very nicely on the return. And Darklaw has a semi-answer in Keeper. I mean, it'll slow it down. It'll slow down the Tunnel Trog, but not quite kill it.
Right. You got. I mean, you got to do it in this situation.
Oh, 100%.
Obviously, yeah.
100%.
Finally, Sir Finley. He won't be able to use the hero power this turn, but he does get steady shot.
He does get it, and he got the abusive off the top to make this curve really nice.
Yeah, to the face.
Yep. And this is why Tunnel Shrug living is significant.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good point.
And then an Innervate off the top. Man, Darklaw is really good at drawing. Yep.
Yeah, holy cow. Innervate into Ancient of Lore. He might be debating on using it as a heal, though. I mean, he's not in a whole lot of pressure right now, but it's always a consideration.
I don't mind it, because you have your next turn. You probably have your next 2 turns completely mapped out. So you're drawing 2 cards to use later. But he went ahead and went for the draw, which, honestly, looking at what he got, probably upsets him.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's got combo, but he's already used both Innervates, and it's only turn 5.
Yeah, I think the argument for healing is that you're force of naturing on 6 to board clear, and probably 7 has something with keeper, or either way, like, you have your turns mapped out, so you get 2 cards in the long run to use anyways, and you get your valuable heal, which is really important in this matchup. So, interesting choice. I play through it differently than most players. I think the draw is perfectly reasonable, though.
Oh yeah, you can justify it. Especially he's not under a whole lot of pressure. I mean, there's 2 1-attack minions on board. You're still at 21 health, so you're not in too bad a shape right now health-wise to maybe justify that. So I can totally get on board.
Yeah, I can too. Especially if he has, like, we don't know his deck. Maybe he runs Ancient of Wars, and he really wants to get those so he can win that way. He maybe even runs Belchers, and that's his thinking, like, okay, the heal won't matter because I'll draw into both my Belchers and just win that way. So we don't know what is in his deck right now. We do see it's double combo most likely. We haven't seen a double force, but
right. Oh yeah, I'm sure there's 2. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's possible he runs some things we just don't know.
Here I like the keeper and hero power. It's just a matter of how you want to sequence it, which ones you want to kill off. I mean, you could clear the 2/1/3s. He's gonna go with force instead. That works too.
Yeah, I think this is fine. You're gonna clear his board. You're still gonna have 2 minions left over. He's debating killing the Murgle.
I like going face here. It's a lot of damage.
Yeah, he has the double Savage War in hand, so I guess he.
It's safer. It's safer for sure.
Yeah, it's way safer.
Yeah.
But you have seen Flame Tongue, you have seen Abusive, so he's running out of ways to buff that 1 attack.
Right.
But yeah, it's safer in the long run. You add up the damage, like, it makes a lot of sense. This is probably a Doomhammer turn. He needs to develop it.
Oh yeah, I mean, and the alternatives aren't that great either. I mean, unless he wants to squeak in the hero power. I mean, same reason why Hunter wants to squeak it in. So maybe he does the Argent Horse Rider hero power, but
it does the same amount of it does the same amount of damage as Doomhammer, and you can do that next turn. Yeah. So, and add on the additional 4 from Doomhammer. So it has to be Doomhammer. I'm really curious his thought process on not playing it so far. I think maybe he's it's interesting.
Yeah, I think I would have gone with the Doomhammer too, but this is definitely justifiable.
Well, and the argument for Doomhammer, like, even further, is that you can hero power whenever to get through the Ancient of War that's potentially in his deck, or the Taunt, and you don't know how often you're going to get that 4 through with the Doomhammer.
Yeah.
So, I think the Doomhammer was the correct play still, but this is, like we were saying, this is an option.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Darklaw with the Emperor Thorzen. Pretty nice pickup there, but he's gonna play it safe yet again. Be more mana efficient here.
Oh, it's not even mana efficient, but like it spams his board with minions, where that double Savage War becomes even more valuable.
Good call.
Yep, it's absolutely the correct play. So, yeah, I mean, this is super mana efficient to get this out here, and in the end, I don't know, he still loses some damage going this route.
Let's see, that's 10 plus 8 plus 8, so that's lethal.
Yeah. Yep. So spamming minions, playing double Savage Roar, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, double Savage Roar, a lot of damage with 3 minions on board.
Nothing wrong with that.
So Darklaw rounding out the series is going to pull off a nice victory over Mr. Bagel. Well fought by both sides. Just Mr. Bagel's Shaman couldn't quite get it done. He had several opportunities, but unfortunately, Just wasn't able to pull one out for Mr. Bagel. Ended up being his downfall in that match.
Yep. Really well played though from both. I think I haven't seen much out of Mr. Bagel, but he impressed me.
Sure.
Where, I think going forward we'll probably see him again. Dark Claw is no stranger to this though, so I'm not surprised to see him advance. And I think we have a really great finals coming after this third place game.
Yeah, actually, we just got news that Nubal is going to have to back out of the third place match. So let me show you the bracket real quick. It's not quite updated with that last matchup yet, but just so I can show you the prizes on the left side of your screen. So as you can see, most players here for the Hearthstone Championship Tour points, and there's not a whole lot of difference between third and fourth place. Otherwise, there's a little bit more cash prize money, but they both get 1 point. So Nubal's going to back out of that, which means that we will not be showing a third place match because Mr. Bagel's going to take third place and Nubal's going to be in fourth place then. So both getting 1 point. Mr. Bagel going to end up with $15 and Nubal going to end up with $10. So we'll thank them both real quick for playing in our tournament. It was awesome to have them, real high skill level players. Hopefully we'll see them more in the future. But for now, we're going to be proceeding next into the championship match between RDU and Dark Claw. So that will be really exciting to see. Double Los and I are going to take a short break while we set that up. So don't go away. You do not want to miss the exciting championship match. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Elephino Open number 18. I am still joined by Double O's. We're awesome to have him here with us this evening. How are you enjoying yourself so far?
I'm loving it. I haven't done this in a while, so it's a little different, but I'm really enjoying it. This is some fun games. We have some really good players playing in a second here, so I love watching this sort of stuff.
Yeah, we're happy to have you. You're doing a great job so far. I really love your insights so far. Really knowledgeable on the tournament. You can definitely tell you have some great Hearthstone knowledge, so I really appreciate you joining me this evening.
Thanks.
All right, well, for us here, we are getting ready to start the championship match of Elephino Open number 18. Let me go ahead and show you the bracket real quick. If you're just joining us, these players played in a 256-player single elimination tournament, and we are all down to 2. So we're going to have RDU versus Dark Claw in the championship match. If you're looking to get into some of these open tournaments yourself, or you just don't really know how to break into the tournament Hearthstone scene, definitely you're going to want to check out strivewire.com. They have a lot of great open tournaments on their website. Whether you're playing in the North American region or the European region, they have tournaments for you to join in. I believe they are all free, lots of fun. Get out there and get involved in the scene. If you just want some extra knowledge about Hearthstone, or you probably want to improve your game a little bit so that you can get into some of these tournaments, gain a little bit more confidence on the ladder, you're going to want to check out gamersensei.com. They're making a huge splash in the scene right now. They're a new up-and-coming website where you can go on there, you can sign up, and they have tutors for all kinds of esports, including Hearthstone. So go on there, make yourself an account, and get involved with some of their awesome coaches that they have over at gamersensei.com, and they can definitely help you improve your Hearthstone game and maybe some of your other esports games as well that you might be interested in. So give them a look, and hopefully we'll see you in one of these tournaments going forward through either Strivewire or through the knowledge you learned from Gamer Sensei. But that'll be enough sellout for us right now. We're getting ready here to start the championship match, Elephino Open number 18, between RDU and Dark Claw. Double O's, do you mind giving us a rundown of their lineups that they're going to be playing with this evening?
Yes, I can do that. First off, never enough selling out. You got to get paid. But we'll go ahead and go with RDU has Hunter, Mage, and Warrior, and his Rogue was banned, so I don't have to cast that. That's a good thing.
Right.
And Darkla has Druid, Paladin, and Warlock, and his Warrior was banned. So what we're seeing here is RDU banning Warrior because he's running Freeze Mage. We saw that last time. So that's just a smart ban, because you just never want a 90-10 potential matchup ever.
Right, yeah.
Like, just get rid of it. Like, there's no reason to even... You know he's playing Druid, Paladin, Warlock, which are all busted in their own rights, but you never want the 90-10. So it's a really smart ban. It's just very straightforward.
Like auto ban for RDU, I'm sure. Every match you get it. Yeah.
Has to be. Because at least with those other classes, like, you can argue like 70-30, 60-40 in certain matchups, but you're never seeing a 90-10. Right. So Darklaw go ahead and bans Rogue from RDU, which I think is more of just a respect ban.
Absolutely. Really good with that Rogue.
RDU's amazing with Rogue. So it's just a really good ban on his end, just out of respect. You know, you don't have to play against a player in his best list. It's akin to banning Zealot's Priest. Like, you just do it. Like, it just makes the most sense.
Right.
Even if the matchups don't come out completely amazing.
Looks like we're getting ready to start game one. Looks like they're getting involved in the action, so let's get you guys in there as well. Game one between Darklaw and RDU. Darklaw going to be on the bottom of your screen, open up with Druid, and RDU on the top of your screen, opening up with that Aggro Hunter that we saw have some pretty good success last round. I kind of like the... Going off the opening hands here, Darklaw has that Wild Growth again, so he'll probably hold on to that. But RDU with a pretty aggressive start of his own.
Yeah, I'm having troubles getting to spectators.
Sure,
so
no problem. You
rock it for a second, I'll be right there.
Darklaw hasn't quite done the mulligans yet, but I assume he'll hold on to the Wild Growth and toss the other two back. RDU has done his mulligans, and he's got a couple one-drops with the coin. So he's going to get out a lot of early game pressure with Leper Gnome and Worgen Infiltrator both in his opening hand. That's pretty nice.
All right, now I'm here. Yeah, I mean, we're seeing the two starts from both players that they both want, for sure, with the wild growth and the double 1-drop. What's important for Darklaw is to get some stuff after that wild growth right now. He does have the swipe, which is really important card.
Yeah, even respecting it enough to keep the swipe off the mulligan, respecting the pressure.
Yeah. It's a very nice keep. He knows RDU is playing Face Hunter most likely. I think you can watch the past games, so he probably watched and saw. So it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. RDU, undoubtedly, his opening play will be coin double 1-drop. Seems really good, especially with the Mad Scientist being able to come down on turn 2. So you already have the turn 2 play locked up.
He has his 2 and his 3. He has his 2 Scientist, 3 Abusive Hero Power. So he's, right now, like, he's going to be on autopilot, because it's not like Darklaw's playing anything on board. He's just going to wall growth. So all RDU wants is future plays, because he does have it all lined up for at least the first 3 turns.
We'll see how patient Darklaw can be with this swipe. I think you got to use it right now.
I think you 100%.
To wait a turn.
100% use it, and then you next turn intervate out either Boom or Lore. Most likely Boom. And you're a pretty happy guy.
Oh yeah, yeah, disgusting. He filled out his curve very nicely. Darklaw did with those 7 drops and the intervate getting picked up. Just a really good start. Really smart mulligan, able to stave off the pressure with the swipe, and he got rewarded.
Absolutely. Fantastic mulligan.
Let's see what the secret was for. I apologize for the delay on that. It is the snake trap again, so I think that's the only secret we've seen so far from RDU. I think he has an explosive in there. It'd be a safe bet, but maybe not. Maybe he's just got double snake trap or even the 1.
It's a safe bet. It's one of each, but it definitely could just be snake or double snake. But I mean, RDU gets a pretty good card here. This is a card. I mean, it doesn't fill out his mana perfectly, but you're not at the point where you're really like upset about that. You're pretty happy with the fact that you have snakes out and you have some bit damage on board.
Sure.
So,
well, now he knows.
Yeah.
It's not bear, it's not freezing, it's not explosive. So he just narrowed those down with the 1 boombot to the face. So it does make his trading a little bit different. He doesn't have another AoE at the moment, so I imagine he'll just start the race.
Yeah, I like the race. I think it's smart. You do have the heal coming up for next turn. Just go in. You have a lot more damage on your board than he does, and he only has 3 cards and 5 mana to work with at the moment. So.
And you have the heal, the Ancient of Lore you can use defensively.
Exactly. You'd feel really safe, but we do see the explosive, so he does run the explosive come off the top for RDU, which will stop some of the damage and cause some damage on Darklaw's side. It's actually a very swingy, very good card here.
Looks like he's debating over the kill command here. I understand why, because of the beast synergy currently on board, and he's not sure if that's going to stick around. But with the snake trap, it's probably Go ahead.
Sorry, no. The reason I like the kill command here is you're playing to your out, sort of like RDU was doing earlier, where you want a hero power and play the kill command you get off the top, or the quick shot you get off the top. You want to fit this card in, or you can use it for clear.
Right.
Must be scared.
Yeah, that seems pretty good as well.
Yeah. This seems perfectly fine.
Yeah, but you are really heads up. A lot of players would have just directed that to straight at the face without even thinking. Yeah. I think it was really heads up.
Yeah, I really like it. But you are running out of a lot of steam, so there is a lot of risk involved with it too. I mean, all you have is an owl in your hand at this point when you're RDU.
Sure.
So you really have to figure out how you're killing him.
Yeah, how do you win from here? He's got to do 16 damage with what looks like at this point just hero powers. Maybe a couple 1/1s on board. But probably not. I imagine he'll take the trades here.
Yeah, I mean, if he had gone face with it, he'd be going down to 10, but he would be dishing out something like be putting him at like 7. So he didn't really even have the outs anyways. I think his only other out might have been like the second kill command. So this is a pretty defensive play. Maybe it's even just like the only play when you really do think about it.
What do you think about Ancient Allure used to heal the Dr. Boom to keep the pressure on?
I do it. It's not bad.
Yeah, looks like he's going for it.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, really heads up, really top level play. I mean, most people would, again. Oh, the Doomsayer punished.
Oh.
No, what a huge break for RDU on the Doomsayer.
That was obviously what RDU was playing into.
Oh no, he gets the dream.
Man.
For RDU, that's the dream, and for Darklaw, what a huge punish.
And what a tilt going forward if you do lose this game. You're still not out of it. I mean, like, you're still not dead as Darklaw. Like, your opponent really only has that one card. You know it's not Quick Shot because he would have played it there.
Right.
You have to think it's something like Owl. I think maybe the only card possible that he would just hold on there is the Owl, unless he's running like Leroy.
Right,
Or
trying to get around a taunt or either something big. Yeah, good point. Yeah, exactly. I don't have to reiterate what you just said.
Yeah, but so I mean, and here's that. So this is probably what he figured. So we're gonna just Quick Shot and get him to a Creeper, which is one of the worst cards I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Draw there. You gotta spam hero power and hope for the best at the moment. The best isn't good enough anymore.
That's lethal right there. So that's gonna do it.
That'll do it. That was a nice little draw. Wow, what a weird little game.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, wow, that was a roller coaster of emotions from both sides, especially Darklaw.
Yeah. So if you, it's funny too because that 5 damage, was it enough? I don't know. If you kill Command Space and the Doomsayer comes out,
right?
But you can't play into that. Like
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Oh man, that's crazy.
I mean, the odds of that are so infinitesimally small that you cannot. I mean, it's worth taking if it's like you're only out like at the end of a game and you might win it, but not when you're like playing, still that early in the game.
No, yeah, I think it was still well done on RDU's end. That was crazy.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you couldn't have scripted that. That's too much better. That was. Players cost some breaks, but it worked out for Darklaw in the end. So he's gonna take game 1 with his Druid and gets the 1-0 lead over RDU early.
And we go into the first game we've seen of RDU's Warrior, and it appears to be Patron.
Yep, that looks pretty telling by the unstable ghouls.
Yep, and we know that Darklaw is Reno. We haven't actually seen the card Reno, but we can very much assume it is Reno lock. And if I'm Darklaw, as soon as he realizes this is Patron, he's a pretty happy guy.
Yeah, he has the clear with Shadow Flame, so he's going to be looking for another clear for that second wave of Patrons eventually. Like a Hellfire or Twisting Nether, depending on how long it takes to get those out. But once he deals with those, he's definitely in the driver's seat.
Yep, usually the way that the Patron will win this game is with big frothings early. Like, they can be hard for the Reno lock to deal with. But we don't see those. We see already a board clear out of Darklaw, so he's going to be pretty happy, I think. It's a very interesting matchup. We don't know what Darklaw's finishers are yet. We have not seen a Archangel. We've not seen a Leroy. There we go.
There's the Leroy.
Okay. Yep, there's the Leroy. So now we know his finisher is Leroy. We don't know if he runs to Raxus yet, which would be okay, and that's pretty good if it was Control Warrior. Like, amazing if he was Control Warrior, but still pretty good against Patron. But we probably have enough tools from what we see in Darklaw's deck that he should fare well, but you can never put it past RDU to win this sort of game.
Oh no, definitely not. This could go either way for sure. It depends on some opening draws coming up here shortly. We'll see what they can transition into the mid game, and if RDU can pick up some patrons and go off on them before Darklaw has a way to deal with it besides the Shadow Flame, and that's going to be the determining factor.
For sure. So you definitely just Death Bite the 3/3, go Fate, or you kill it and then you play to 0/0. That makes it a 0 mana 3/3.
Yeah, I like that play from RDU. Yeah, sacrifice, not overvaluing the unstable ghoul there.
Yeah, it's not going to get its value anywhere, and all it could do is backfire on this 3/3. So it's a really good play.
Yeah, Shredder looks good. I was going to say Dark Puzzler, another option, or obviously tapping first maybe, but this looks pretty good.
I think it's the best play in a line of not amazing plays. So
right. It kind of makes you want to makes RDU want to use his Despite at the same time. If he doesn't have patrons, he wants to hold on to that Despite, so maybe making things awkward for RDU.
Exactly. And honestly, like, if he did have the patrons, it's unfortunate. Darklaw doesn't have a very clean way to deal with that, but that's a big what if and not even apparent to the game because there are no patrons in RDU's hand. But he's still probably, he has to use this charge here and kind of get some more draw going because his hand is sort of flat at the moment.
What do you think about, so he's got the Acolyte, he could slam
the Shredder,
right,
hit face.
Right, that's one of the plays I'm looking at. I don't know if it's the right one or not.
Yeah, I like just holding Pat here.
Okay.
I think you're going to get inevitable draw off this 1/3, and you still want to save that charge. I mean, the 3/3 will kill the 4/3. You want him to make that trade. If it's his answers are like Hellfire, which kill his board anyways. And also the Hellfire is kind of nice because you're finally getting your hero into Battle Rage territory.
Okay.
So you're almost inviting the Hellfire. Like you're like, I'm gonna draw a few cards off that. So, please.
Yeah, and since you're kind of sure you're up against more of a Reno/Handlock as opposed to Zoo, it's nice to have that Slam as an execute activator.
Yeah,
as
absolutely.
Well, so I
especially
should point that out.
Yeah, especially when it's in hand. But
Right.
I think it's on Darklaw's side. You probably do the trade. I don't. It's again, your hand is. He didn't have a very great line of plays last turn. He's not exactly in the greatest line this turn, but you did see your opponent not want to kill a Shredder with his weapon, so maybe he'd feel the same way about not wanting to kill a Belcher.
Yeah.
But I like this little idea. The tapping is really important, and buffing up the Shredder just to make the clean trade here is pretty sweet.
I tell you, if he wasn't going to buff that, he definitely would have made the Piloted Shredder trade first before playing any other minions, just in case Doomsayer came out again.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter now because he was able to buff it up, so it didn't die in that trade.
Post-traumatic post-game Doomsayer stress. That's a lot.
But it is nice getting that taunt out there because it prevents RDU from getting multiple draws.
Yeah, because you don't know what's going to come out of the Shredder. It could be the Captain's Parrot, and then the act like it's sweet value. This is pretty nice though. You're getting 3 draws this turn.
Yeah, I mean, slamming his own Acolyte, 2 draws right off the bat. Gets the 3rd one here with the trade in, so yeah, it's exactly what you pointed out. And now, what does he do?
Looking at his hand, I mean,
It's clunky.
you know what he's doing. Yeah, it's clunky, but you already know what you're doing next turn, so I don't think the Acolyte coming out now and drawing more is too important, but it's also not bad by any means. So I like this. Maybe he interrages to 2/1 that remains, but I doubt it. He's looking like he might execute it, which would be weird. I think the interrage is way better if you're gonna do it, especially with the interrage off the top.
Yeah.
That makes this play perfectly reasonable.
Definitely makes it feel a little bit better. Oh, there's the Jiraxis you were talking about.
There's the other finisher, which is really important in the Warrior matchup. So while Darklaw in some ways gets richer, he also still is in the same point of just kind of throwing mid-range creatures down that don't have giant impacts on the board. So, I mean, he needs stuff like Twilight. He needs stuff like that. That's a good card.
Wow. Yeah.
That's a really good card here. But I don't know if you exactly play it quite yet. I mean, you can just slam it. Like it's perfectly fine just to slam this thing, run that in, and end your turn. It's very straightforward.
Sure, yeah. There's already 3 minions on your opponent's side, so it's not the worst.
No, not at all.
Now back to RDU with
yeah.
He just used the Despite last turn, so.
And so that Patron's a little late. He does have Whirlwind. He does have an Interage. Does he want to go? Yeah, I mean, you can't exactly like completely go in on that with Sylvanas on board because Shadow Flame would just potentially just wreck you. Set the boom is all the way at full health.
Yeah. That would hurt.
Yeah.
It's also going into a Twisting Nether turn, potentially. Obviously, we know Darklaw doesn't have it, but if he went off on Patrons there and Twisting Nether was in hand, I know Darklaw wouldn't have gotten the value off of Sylvanas, but that would have been a huge board clear.
Yeah, and RDU has noticed that a lot of those cards in Darklaw's hand have been sitting there a long time, so Twisting Nether makes a lot of sense, honestly. If you're Darklaw here, you can steal the boom, but you aren't doing too much else this turn, and you're using one of your very valuable board clears. So you really have to evaluate a bunch of different things here.
Oh yeah, lots of decisions for Handlock. It's one of the most frustrating things about playing with it. You have so many resources usually.
So this is cute. This is really cute. Yeah, and he got it. I like it a lot. This is a really fun play, and he can just heal bot if he wants to. Yep, this is awesome. Really, really nice play from Darklaw. You don't know for sure if you're gonna get those boom bots to kill your Sylvanas, but it's worth the risk, and it's not like even that low of odds.
Right. So, what's the worst case scenario? You trade it into the boom anyway, and you get the
and you use the board clear that is less valuable against Patron, the 2 damage one. So it's really nice.
He still has the Shadow Flame here though. So
yeah. No.